You heard it here first, folks. If you mention a woman doesn't look like her age, that's simple.
Welcome, everybody. We are Marvelous Musings, and today we're talking about Wakanda Forever. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. So, in today's episode, as mentioned, we are going to be talking about the next Black Panther movie and the movie to finish off Phase 4 of the MCU and to lead us into Phase 5 as well. We're going to be talking a little bit about what this movie means for the future of the MCU. We're going to be talking about what we're looking forward to, and one very important topic about who is the next Black Panther. Black Panther is probably up there. It may be my favorite MCU film. Killmonger is my favorite villain. Black Panther as a film, I don't see many flaws in the movie. I think it has some of the best writing, some of the best cinematography, acting. I don't have any sort of issues with how they went about the Black Panther film, at least the first one. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Ryan Coogler does with the second one.
I'm looking forward to the effects Chadwick Boseman's death that's going to have on Wakanda and the story overall. So this unexpected death, how it's going to affect Wakanda very much, the characters in it as well, such as Queen Ramonda and Shuri, obviously, M'Baku probably, and Nakia as well.
I want to see how they're gonna if not replicate it, obviously, but how they're gonna fill in that massive hole that he leaves. This is a niche thing, but I'm really looking forward to Angela Bassett's performance as the Queen. She had just a brief moment in the trailer there that was simply incredible. I think everyone who's seen it knows exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly the part. I'm just looking forward to see how she does in the rest of the movie as well.
And can we just say Angela Bassett is 63 years old?
I
You
know.
you can't tell me for a second that woman looks like she's
I thought
63 years
hold
old.
on, hold on. I thought we only simped on men on this channel.
I wasn't. I'm okay. Not simping. Not
No
simping.
one's
Just.
simping.
I'm just appreciating her craft and how she looks so young for someone who's 63 years old. It's insane.
You heard it here first, folks. If you mention a woman doesn't look like her age, that's simping.
But yeah, no, that's actually a really good point because even just in that one scene that she had, where she talked about how she had lost everything, I thought that was a really powerful moment. And I saw there's that one scene where what was it? They had the mural of Chadwick of T'Challa drawn. I thought that was a really beautiful moment, and it was similar to how they had the same thing for Tony Stark in Far From Home. So I'm looking forward to seeing more stuff like that because I think that his
Absolutely.
death was tragic and his life needs to be honored as much as possible in this movie.
Wakanda in the first movie, it's completely isolated. No one knows like what it truly is. That allowed a lot of things in the first movie to take place. I want to see is how a nation like Wakanda functions and exists on a day-to-day basis on the international scale, because now the game's completely changed for them. How does it work when they send spies out into foreign countries that are so completely dominant in terms of technology and all these things? That's going to be something that's really fun to watch. That's just
Namor. Namor is going to be in this movie, and Namor and his people are obviously the villains of this movie, right? Even though it's a bit confusing because Namor is not exactly a villain in the comics, but he's an anti-hero. We're not going to get into all of that. But what we will get into is the fact that it could be one of the repercussions of the fact that Wakanda has opened itself up to the world. It's no longer protected by its secrecy and the fact that it's hidden to the rest of the world. Everyone knows about Wakanda. I mean, there was a huge battle fought over the fate of the world in Wakanda. So at this point, that could be one of the repercussions they're feeling because of opening up to the world.
Just in general, like setups for the future, for Young Avengers with Riri Williams, obviously being introduced in this movie. Development for Namor for future stories where he is an anti-hero, so future stories such as like Secret Wars, and Namor's also another mutant, so well, Marvel's first mutant as he's titled, and just excited to see another mutant in the MCU, and Marvel's Aquaman.
Not Marvel's Aquaman. That's actually the best way to put him. So, like you mentioned, mutants. We're going to be seeing more of that. Setting up Young Avengers extremely important with Riri Williams. Which, by the way, I'm extremely excited to see Riri Williams' character because we're finally getting to see a little bit more about Iron Man besides just Spider-Man and his whole thing with Iron Man that's going on. And also, I'm a little bit intrigued because obviously Riri Williams was inspired by Iron Man. Basically, I'm just excited to see how exactly they're dealing with the aftermath of everything that's already happened in post movies surrounding Tony Stark and his death and the fall of his company.
Marvel has definitely been defined by Iron Man for a really long time. A bit uncertain as to like whether or not we want more of Iron Man, and especially we saw this as in Spider-Man as well, where it seemed for large tracts of the movies until Spider-Man 3 that he was basically Iron Man but with webbing, which
The issue is with Black Panther and Wakanda in general. Iron Man did play a huge part in Black Panther. Well, not Black Panther. You have to there. It has to be noted. The relationship between T'Challa and Iron Man. Okay, maybe that fizzled out a little bit in Civil War after the airport battle, but um, that has to be noted. And how Iron Man did influence him. He even joined Iron Man's team against Captain America. Of course, that all got resolved in Infinity War. Blah blah blah. But Iron Man does play a large role in T'Challa's story in the MCU. So it will be interesting to see how they move on in this movie. And I would like to see a bit of a departure from just stories being about Iron Man.
Just set up the character for her solo show.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, actually, if it's mainly just that, just a setup for her character, then I would be all right with it. But I guess we'll see when the movie comes out. Who's gonna be the next Black Panther?
Well, the most likely person to be Black Panther is the next in line, which is Shuri. She's the sister of the late T'Challa. She would also have to synthetically recreate the heart-shaped Earth because it was completely burnt by Killmonger's orders. So obviously Shuri's the next in line to be Black Panther, and it could be interesting to see because she did become Black Panther in the comics as well. It could be a good way to set her character up more, and there are some other options as well, such as Nakia taking on the role, and in when the trailer was shown at Comic-Con, Ryan Coogler introduced her on stage first, and the trailer for this movie opened up with Nakia's character looking onto a beach. So that could mean she might be stepping into the mantle of Black Panther, some other characters such as M'Baku, which I don't think M'Baku is going to be taking on the role because the final scene in the trailer where the Black Panther character is finally shown, that body is way too scrawny for M'Baku
yeah,
to be the next.
Baku is a beautiful man.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. And the last option is Killmonger, but this is very unlikely. But he was revived in the comics once before. So he could be revived, but he was at the end of the movie. He requested that he be thrown into the ocean with his ancestors. And you know what's in the ocean? Talakan, what Namor rules. So it is possible that he could still be alive, especially since we didn't really see a dead body. That again, that's another option, especially since the new suit has gold parts to it as well, and yeah, Killmonger is a likely option, but it's very unlikely. I don't think like after everything he's done, Shuri and Ramonda would be keen on reviving him and letting him be the next Black Panther.
Regarding Killmonger, I think it's quite likely the Black Panther we see at the end of the movie is Killmonger because it has the same golden trim that his outfit did. So the two hypotheses, Narajan, you presented the first one that he is interred in the ocean and he's brought back to life, or if not brought back to life, he's saved from his relatively survivable by Wakandan standards injuries that he had. Or the other big one is that somehow, and for some reason violating his wishes, the Wakandans kept him alive. And again, we've seen Wakandans keep horribly injured people alive well past any like survivable standard. I think either of those cases work. I'm leaning towards the idea that Namor and the Sea People captured him, but I think I'm just happy to see Michael B. Jordan again.
I'm gonna be completely honest. My view might be very different to your guys. While Killmonger may be my favorite MCU villain, I don't want to see him again.
He thinks Ramonda is the next Black Panther.
Yes, no. I mean, I'm gonna go along with the general consensus that Shuri's probably the next Black Panther. It makes the most sense, I think. But more than that, I don't want to see Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger back. I think his death had meaning to it, and it was powerful. It was a really powerful moment. And I think to just go back on that, say, oh, the Atlanteans revived him or kept him alive, just feels kind of, it feels like that ending. The ending of Black Panther as a movie doesn't have as much meaning anymore. And I would like to see it just remain as it is. I'd like to see Shuri take up the mantle, but I don't want to see that happen with Killmonger. I think his ending was perfect. It was very It was just the perfect way to end the arc of a villain who realized he was wrong.
See,
Bringing
I agree with that viewpoint. I agree with that viewpoint. But I think at the same time, his overwhelming popularity with the fan base means that Marvel is likely to try something like bringing him back from the dead. I don't know cinematically how good of an idea that would be, but it's Marvel, so.
What are you talking about? Marvel's done no fan service.
At
But
all,
yeah, I do
never.
All right,
agree. Reviving characters and like franchises and stuff could like it is a risky move in franchises because that that could also like defeat the meaning and impact the character's death had on the media previously, or the media show movie previously, right?
Point being, I think Killmonger is not a character I would like to see revived. And if he is, well, it's not going to make me hate the movie, but it will not make me love it as much as the first, because I think the first was perfectly cyclical. I think it had the perfect structure to it. And I don't think bringing Killmonger back would do it for me, to be honest. But we'll have to see that when the movie comes out, I guess, or if they reveal more in the next trailer. But I think that does it for today's episode. Anything else to say, guys?
Wakanda forever.
Kind of forever.
Wakanda forever. And glory to Hanuman.
You ruined it. All right, see you guys.